All right, look at this. This is Paul's testimony in Acts 22. Men, brethren, fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they had heard this, and when they had heard, he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them. They kept the more silence, and he saith, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarshish, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in the city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous toward God as ye are all this day. So he basically explains what happened, his conversion, and all this kind of stuff, which is very cool. But I want to kind of hone in on this gentleman here, Gamaliel. So where did we see this? Well, if we go back just a little bit, we see, where is it here? Right here. Let's have a quick look here. So, where is it? Right here. Yeah, look at this. And Saul was consenting unto his death. That time there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. Maybe I'll make a video about that some other time. But so Saul's breathing down everyone's neck. So basically all the Jews that became Christians, this is who Saul's going after. He's not just going after anyone. He's going after people that are members of the synagogue, and they are basically renouncing their faith, whatever it is, or they just basically, they became Christians. They didn't even do anything yet, but Paul is seeing this as almost like treason. Anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to go over here to his conversion, where we see Saul yet breathing out threats and slaughter against the disciples, not the apostles, but the disciples, right? So he's getting letters and all this kind of stuff so that he can go to the synagogues. If he found any of them that are in the synagogues, he's going to bring them to trial. So that's who he's going after. And then down here, he bumps into Jesus on the way to Damascus, fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? Interesting. And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? Almost like the greatest conversion in history, like the fastest conversion. And the Lord said to him, Arise, go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. But look at this. And he, trembling and astonished. What do you think this means? Think about it. Jesus just said, I am whom thou persecutest. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. The pricks are almost like prods used against animals so that they would move forward. And if they kick back, they're just going to end up hurting themselves. So it's a waste of time to go against Jesus Christ, basically, is what Jesus is saying. And this is what astonished Paul. And Paul is shocked by what Jesus said. Why? Because he heard this before. Who? He heard this from his mentor, Gamaliel. Let me see if we can find this here. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Gamaliel's counsel. Gamaliel is basically saying, leave the Christians alone. Leave them alone. This is Paul's instructor, the head honcho, the guy that taught Paul. So when they heard that, they were cut to the heart and took counsel to slay them. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee, which is like Paul, named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, like Luke. Luke is a doctor of the law. He's not a physician like we think, bandaging up people left, right, and center. He's a doctor of the law. This is why you need to really study the book of Luke and the book of Acts together, because there's so much stuff going on in there. Luke writes words for a reason. He ties things together nicely. So anyways, then stood up there one in council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. He's like, give these guys a break. Give them some space. Leave them alone. Don't touch them. Why? Look at this, what he says. Man, this is so amazing. And said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves. What ye intend to do is touching these men. And then he goes on to say, these other guys that thought they were somebody, and well, 400 guys, they came to nothing. And this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of taxing, drew away much people, and then they were dispersed. Now I say unto you, refrain from these men. Again, leave them alone. He says it, let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against God. Kick against the pricks. So Gamaliel is saying, leave these guys alone. Do you not think that Paul heard what Gamaliel said? Because look, they departed from the council, rejoicing that they were accounted worthy to suffer shame for his name. That ends up in some of Paul's writings. Guys, I'm telling you, this is tying together nicely. Look at this again, just to wrap this up with a nice little bow. And he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest, which your own instructor told you, it is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. You can't go against God. You can't fight against me. And he trembling and astonished, because he knew what his master Gamaliel had said to him, had taught him, maybe in the private setting, saying, look, Paul, I don't think this is a good idea to mess with these guys. Boom. Paul converted, done. Let's go. Let's rock and roll to Damascus and start tearing up the world. Anyways, Book of Acts is amazing. Hope you got something out of this. Thanks for watching. Bye.